This video is sort of a response to my previous video titled College Isn't That Cool, but it's also just a reminder to the people who see this that you should go to college if you have the opportunity, because it is a worthwhile experience. This especially goes out to any young men watching this video, because apparently there is a trend of young men not going to college, and I've noticed this around myself with a lot of my friends even, and family members following that trend. So I think it's very important that this message gets spread and that people, get some good advice. But it's also, you're missing out on a lot of vital experiences that will heavily help you in life. And honestly, you will just be happy, I think, because a lot of the people I speak to that are not going to college or are not really experiencing the full college experience, they feel as if they're not as involved socially with their peers, which is not good, just like objectively not good. And I kind of felt the same as well when I wasn't actively in school or, in some sort of social scenario. So I think consider going to college heavily, and I'll explain further why, but this is mostly my experience and sort of just general advice, I think. Just give it a chance at the very least, I would say, because it is an important part of life in the modern day, and most jobs that pay well require a college degree. As much as people on the internet would like to tell you the opposite, that is bullshit, okay? Let's be real. You are not going to become a famous YouTuber. If you are, lucky you, but let's get real for a minute. You gotta get a job, dog. You can't be working at McDonald's for the rest of your life, because that shit does not pay. It does, however, depend on the college you're going to and, the various factors in your life. But I would say that generally, as a rule, college is a good thing and you should go to college. Now, why am I saying this? Initially, I went to community college for almost 2 years, and that was, it was fine. It was like slightly better high school. Half of it was online, and then I started kind of going in person. But even then, it wasn't super great. It was definitely better than anything I did in high school, but it didn't really capture the true college experience. But as of spring of last year, I've been going to a 4-year university, a real, a big one, a state school, and it has been a great time. Even though the college I'm going to is fairly small. It's, I think, got about 3,000 or 5,000 students, which for most colleges is pretty low, especially compared to some of the more popular schools. My college experience has been really good. Some of the most fun times I've had in recent memory have been at college. I've gone on a bunch of new trips, seen a bunch of new places, met a bunch of new people, and it's been a generally really great experience. I've made so many friends in such a short amount of time from just going to college. And I'm not a super socially apt guy. Like, I like socializing. It's one of my favorite things to do, I can't lie. But I've never been, super great at it, but I have had an amazing experience with college, and just living on campus, especially being really close to the people you are hanging out with and talking to on a daily basis, has been extremely helpful for that. So if you do go to college, I would recommend going somewhere that you're not used to, so you're in a different environment. It changes it up a bit. It can be more expensive, but I would argue it's worth it to live on campus, at least for a little bit, or at the very least live near your school, because that's really important for having a sense of community. But personally, for me, having roommates helped a lot, because it helped me form more connections. I would also definitely recommend doing what I said in my How Do I Make Friends in College video, which is essentially just talk to people. You have to talk to them, even if it's awkward, even if it's weird. In my first week of being at the 4-year university, at the dining hall, I would go up to random people and ask if I could sit with them, and I would sit across from them and have a conversation while I'm eating my food. It worked surprisingly well. That's where I met some of my friends, and then from there, met more friends through them. It's been a really great experience because of that. Now, granted, I did probably make some people think I was like a weirdo, sure, but those people aren't the kind of people I want to hang out with anyway. If they're that judgmental about someone just being outgoing, then that's their own problem. You have to put yourself out there, you have to go talk to people, you have to really get to know people, and you can't really do that if you're just, by your lonesome, head down, sticking to yourself most of the time, just not really branching out or trying new things. That's another thing you should do, and that I have done a lot, is try a bunch of new things. I am now a rock climber. I've started rock climbing just because my school had it, and I was like, that's kind of sick. We've got a tall-ass climbing wall. I'm going to learn to climb. And I've just been doing it. It's really fun. And I would recommend joining a sport sport, joining something like that, because that's an easy way to make friends. Sports, clubs, general recreational activities are great. I've met a lot of people from just doing those things. And personally, I really like socializing, but if that's not even your speed, really, maybe college isn't the thing for you. But if it is your speed, if you like talking to people, you like having friends, you like being around people constantly and being able to talk to someone at basically any point, then you will enjoy college. If you don't, there are still things to enjoy. Having a degree is very valuable. That alone should be a good enough reason. But if that alone isn't, I would say that even if you're reluctant to talk to people, I think you still should, because connections are extremely important later on in life. Like, if you do not make connections, if you do not meet people and make friends, it could be very detrimental for you in the future, because that's how people get jobs. I mean, let's be real. Most jobs, most well-paying jobs, most important jobs have been earned not through any, merits the person has. For the most part, it's been earned through nepotism. You see this everywhere: politics, business, the list goes on. Even things like science, which is very bad, but that's a different discussion. Nepotism is a lot of things. And though technically nepotism is family, I think it still kind of counts, because it's friends, it's people you know. You're not going to hire someone you don't know. Maybe for, a McDonald's job or something, but for an important job, for a well-paying job, you're not going to hire someone you don't know. You're not going to hire someone who you can't trust. Meeting people is really important. Generally, this video is just endorsing the college experience. I'm losing loads of money to it. Well, I'm not, but my parents are, and that is one of the benefits I have. But even if you do get the student loans, I think it pays off as long as you choose a degree that will make you money. That is extremely important. If you do not have the funds to pay for college and you're like taking out loans, you should definitely focus on a degree that will make you money and you can also enjoy. It has to be both. One or the other is nice, but you don't want to be paying off debts for the rest of your life. And I'm not like some financial advisor genius, but that's just like basic knowledge. It's just like, oh, I don't want to lose all my money and have to be paying debts early on in life. That's not good. If you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, that is a problem, right? And college can do that to you. I mean, there's no denying it. It can still be beneficial as long as the degree you are going for is worthwhile. I would definitely recommend a degree in like marketing, business, industries that'll exist for a while. Finances, accounting, that sort of thing can also work. Computer programming. The list goes on. Obviously, there are more struggles to college if you have to work all the time to pay for it and that sort of thing. So it's better to do it when you're in a comfortable place, but it can still be done and you can still enjoy the experience. I know people who are still having a decent, if not pleasant time, and they are paying for college out of pocket, and they are working while in college, because colleges do have on-campus jobs which pay pretty damn well, and they're fairly easy to get. Like, they're not really going to reject you. You don't really need a resume. They're supposed to be starter jobs. I would definitely recommend those for people who are unable to fully finance it. It's a great choice. This is just a sort of revision to the College Isn't That Cool video, because I thought it needed to be said and I needed to sort of revise it. I think I might have said in that video that 4 years might be different, and they definitely are. A lot more different, especially when you're living on campus. There's a lot of value to being around your fellow classmates constantly and being around people constantly. It helps. Some people, I get it, not wanting to live with a roommate. I understand. For me personally, it hasn't been a problem. I've never really conflicted with people that much. I don't really have enemies or anything. I'm not like a very like controversial person. I wouldn't say. Like, I can be, but it's hard to piss people off unless you're really trying to, so just don't do that. If you get unlucky with roommates, it can be bad, but I personally haven't really. Like, my roommates haven't been terrible. One of them is now one of my fairly good friends from college, I would say, and the other one left, so less so of that, but still, it's been a fun time. It's been a really pleasant time. I would definitely recommend joining some sort of clubs. I'm an outdoorsy guy, so I'm in like some outdoorsy clubs. We have an outdoor program type thing, and I go on trips for that, and that has been really fun. They cost money, but considering what you're doing, they're actually fairly cheap. If your college has that, if the college you're going to has that, that's a good option, or things similar to that, because there's a lot of that. Clubs in college are not like clubs in high school. They're a lot better. They're doing a lot more things. They're actually going places and really involving you in the experience. Overall, I just go to college if you can. It's a fun time, not just for the benefits financially, but because it can make your life more fun. Like it's definitely made me a lot happier. I've been at home now over the summer, and I've been feeling kind of down and shitty because I haven't had a lot going on, but when I was at college I was feeling great. I hope you all have a great day. That's all I got.